All right. Whew. We are back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a new stream. We've been gone. We've been gone for a week. I think I still remember how to do most of this. 90% of it was good, all put together. And then my headphone decided to go crazy there for a second, so. But we should be good now. Hey, Ghost Guy, what's going on? Oh, then you offended me. Damn it. That one hurts a little bit. Yeah, so we took a week off. We did a little trip, the family and I, down to the Redwood Forest and to the ocean. Did some fun stuff. Little pre-setup for my daughter's birthday because she's turning 16. So, but we are back this week doing more streams again. So, what are you guys doing in Destiny nowadays? Trip? Oh, nice. Yeah, we did. Our school district gets 2 weeks for spring break. So we spent the second week going down for daughter's 16th birthday. Her birthday's not till July, but it was the time like we have a whole week off, so we drove down and did that. 16 means driving lessons. Yeah, she's on her way to doing that, getting a car and all of that stuff. So if she decides, she's got to go through the process and get her permit and stuff first. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure she'll do good. Son was a little bit harder to get him into it. He was very nervous about driving, but I don't know. You know, I've found that most kids of this age are driving is meh. It's not really a huge win or lose kind of thing. It's not a big deal. I was kind of scared of it. Yeah. No, it's interesting that because there's like so much stuff that they have like at home and everything else like that it's and just driving around is, you know, it used to be like a thing of freedom. Like Mrs. Tahoe would talk about it all the time, that she wanted to get out of the house and just get away from everything and stuff like that, so she would just drive. Not as many kids have that anymore. It's a little bit different, and a lot of them, like, they'll either use public transportation or get an Uber or whatever like that. A lot of that stuff has made it way easier too. So it's different. It's not better or worse. It's just different. I would have nightmares about my brakes failing. Oh my god, that's funny. That's kind of like my son. He was very nervous about all of those things. Like, very big stickler on the rules of the road and stuff like that, making sure he was never getting, you know, I have to follow all the rules and blah blah blah. It's just like, I love you, dude, and I love that you want to follow all the rules, but driving is equal parts knowing the rules and equal parts knowing the kind of rules of the road kind of things and how to make best decisions for everybody kind of thing. It's not It's not as hard-lined as you think it is. It's a little bit more floofy, a little bit more like random, making best judgments kind of thing. But once I took driver's ed, I was good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I talk to the kids all the time. Even before my son got his driver's license and stuff like that, just kind of talking while we were driving, being like, now the rule says you can do this, but it's also, you know, coming up to this intersection or whatever, you have to pay attention to X, Y, Z, and if everything's fine, you can go. And like, but that's not in the rules. And be like, I know, but that's the rule of the road and kind of thing. You just have to know some of these things, pay attention to some of the things. It's not always hard-lined everything. He got it figured out. He's doing good now. I would say driving is still not his favorite thing to do, but he does drive himself to school every day in his own car. Just one of those things. So what have you been doing in Destiny? My itch to come back and play is starting to come up a little more, just not sure if I want to wait till longer to come back. I mean, we're still doing the same stuff. Like, it's not... we had Guardian games the past 2 weeks, so, like, that was interesting. If it's any indication, you know Weird Mr. Alex and his status on playing Destiny and stuff like that, and he's very, like, come and go. Sometimes he'll be into it, sometimes he'll just be like, nope, I'm retired, kind of thing. And even he was like, I think the three of us, me, him, and Ichabus, were kind of had fun doing the Guardian Games thing with the random story missions that it would throw you into, and it would change daily. And it was just like, oh, cool, this is kind of a cool change of pace of going back to these old missions that I haven't played in a long time and done. Nothing crazy, nothing like wild or anything like that, but it was just like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Oh yeah, I didn't even know this one still existed in the game, kind of thing. So it's fun in that way. I mean, if I came back, it would be to finish off the story and to do the dungeon and maybe raids if we had enough people. I think we might have enough, depending. There's a possibility of that. It would be a lot more like teaching and stuff, though, is the kicker on it. I'm gonna work on some stuff while we're talking still. I enjoy teaching. Okay, good. But I'm also very washed. No, I remember. You're a very dry teacher, though. I'm gonna give you that. We get to see Tahoe's hands. Woo! Yes, again. I want to finish this. I want to get this done. I got a lot more to do on here, and we've got a lot of things coming up with the book project and stuff like that. We got our, I can show you. You get a preview. We got our sample copy of book 3 in the mail finally, so we actually have a physical hardback copy of the third book. So going through and doing reviews and revisions on this, making sure everything looks great and works correctly. All of the page turns and stuff like that look and work correctly. Adding a few details that I feel like it needs or missed. Final spelling checks and stuff like that on the printed form. Stuff like that, and then ready to purchase more copies. So yeah, the hardback is really cool. They're more expensive to produce, but I feel like I like them better. I think they last longer in this form. So yeah, I like it. I like a Picasso. So that's what we got going on. We've got our release day. We don't have, I haven't released the official release date for book number 3 yet, but it is coming out in July. Stay tuned for more details as I do that. Basically what we've got is a 3-month period up to July. That's when everything will start coming together. We'll start doing more social media stuff about the dates and times and special events and book signings and stuff like that. Like all of those things start to fall in place and come together. So yeah. Yeah, they're always going to be pricey. The books are always going to be, the hardbacks are always going to be a little bit more pricey. Oh dude, those stasis things are really cool. Yeah, these came in, this was part of, I want to say one of those, not a blind box. I can't remember the name of the box. It's one of those ones where you sign up and every month they send you something or whatever. And they had a Destiny one at one point, I believe. And these coasters came in it. They're those like rubbery. Oh yeah, Loot Crate. There's a Loot Crate one. This is a exclusive for Loot Crate. So you got the 3 of these in that box set. I got them all upside down. Yeah. That's on. This is all on my desk here. So actually my computer is right there. My monitors. I actually got 2 monitors here. Microphone is right here. Kind of thing. Camera's up here. Hi. Patch is right here. I realized I could like point at different things on the screen. Oh yeah, look, there's our video right there. Pew, 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 pew. There's a little Becca character right there. Pew, pew. There's my character right there. Pew, pew, pew. That's kind of, I'm having too much fun with this. This is playing around too much. This guy, I know, right? Lol. Have too much fun. What is life if it can't be fun? Right? I hope it's supposed to be fun. It'd be bad if it wasn't fun. Got a couple things I gotta work out here. I don't think this is the sharp one. I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, I got the X-Acto knife there. This is like actually a cutting tool for lino. Actually has a very specific tip to it so that it cuts into our linoleum here, but you get a couple different ones in the kit and some of them get dull and they like to skip like that. We don't want them to skip. We want them to just glide smoothly and cut smoothly. There we go. That's better. And one of them is dull. That one's dull. So we're going to get rid of that one. Yeah, gotta use lots of tools of the trade here. Try to be as safe as possible. If I can. See, and then we get these nice little spirals here. These are little tiny cuts that come out of there. You can see, like, try to get that sun out of there. Very tiny, tiny cuts in there. Make our little stamps. The other hard part is trying to make sure we don't overcut things either. What I need to do, I do that. How have you been doing, Ghost Guy? How's things going? More plans have gone together for the wedding? Yes, no, maybe so? Not at this point, but we do have a potential date. That's good. But still haven't decided where. Nah, it all takes time. There's no rush. It's your guys' big day. Don't forget that. It's actually both of your guys' big day. Make it special for both of y'all. It's a special thing. It really, really is. The funny part is we're talking about getting married and stuff like that, and there's a connection between the third book that I put together and that Mrs. Tahoe and I's wedding. So we'll go back over here real quick. One of the things that we did when we got married was we adopted our second cat, Patch here. That's our assistant who's over in his, actually, I don't know if he's in his little spot or not. Nope, he moved. God damn it. He's always moving. But he's basically our wedding cat. So this story actually revolves around us picking him up while we were getting married. So it's a little homage, a little, to that time. Special. Gotta figure out how to make it special. Well, our doggo will be involved in our wedding. Yay! That's always good. I'm not shape or form. You're not in shape or form? Wait, I'm confused. Guts. I went that way. That way. Should be okay. In some shape or form, talking about our doggo being in the wedding. Oh, gotcha. Now we have the fur babies in the wedding. I'm kidding. They don't have to be in the wedding. Sideways. There we go. Damn it. Oh, that one's gonna suck. That one I can't fix. Shoot, I messed up on that. Pressed too hard and it cut across. Thing. That's what happens when you take a week off. You get a little too heavy-handed. Damn. Oh well, it happens. Might be that my tools are getting dulled too. Let's see. I want to cut this way. Always forget, you don't have to cut or push that hard to get what you're looking for in this linoleum. Better to take your time and go slow and do little cuts rather than trying to take big chunks all at once, if at all possible. Yeah, I think we're just kind of stuck on Destiny stuff until the new. We still have, I think it said 65 days when we were on Saturday, until hopefully something new comes out. I know we've got Iron Banner coming up here shortly, which is just fine. It's not like super exciting, but at least it's something different that we haven't had yet in a minute. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like in between. I don't mind trying to do raids with people, but at the same time, it's not my big thing. I've actually been enjoying a lot more of the 3-person activities than I have the raids, the 6-person stuff. There's just no incentive for anything. Yeah, dungeons, like I was saying, the 3-person activity for Guardian games, that was fun. It just seems more accessible, and I don't mind dungeons, raids, if there are a few people that know more what they're doing. Like, well, now that we've done enough runs of Atheon, a Vault of Glass, enough people know kind of how all of that works that I don't have to explain all the roles to all 5 people and stuff like that, and that makes it a little bit easier. Vault be so easy. It's an easy one, but it's an easy one to be able to teach people. Like, it is a very good beginner's raid. There are way more complex raid stuff that happens where you definitely need more communication and things like that for a lot of pieces. Vault, you can still get away with 1 or 2 people, 3 at the minimum, that know what they're doing, that can just handle 90% of the stuff. Yeah, at the very least. Everything else, people can generally just run ad clear or do basic things. So yeah, exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, Vault, you can get away with 3 people knowing the stuff. Yeah, because like 90% of the times, it's one of those 3 people that knows what they're doing is doing the thing that they need to, and they get paired up with a newbie that doesn't know what they're doing, and be like, all right, keep things from killing me, and people can handle that part of it, which is good. That's why I don't mind when we still have people that don't have Vex either, so that's another reason why we keep going in there. Good old Vex Mythoclans. Most people encounters, you don't even need people to know a whole lot, yes, other than clear ads, yeah. Yeah, you'd love to get some more of those. We still joke about you getting all the ones. Every time we go in there, we always talk about you getting every single Vex. You and not Pioneer, Renegade. You and Renegade getting all of them. You should check in on your girl though, because she had a pretty scary health thing that happened recently. You should check on Renegade to see how she's doing. Yeah. She posted it on, I think it was on Facebook, I think is where we saw it. Might have been on Instagram. I don't remember which one it is, but yeah, she was in the hospital for a few days. She's doing better now, but any hospital visit is scary because you just never know. Yeah, just might be good to check on her and see how she's doing. She's back home again and working on her books and stuff like that, but I know you guys were super close, so I mean, she does run your agency, so she is the head of the ghost management agency. They're really freaking this up right now. Hey, Sonny, thank you for putting your points towards our assistant. Appreciate that. He's not in any of his normal spots because he's being a turd muffin, so let's switch over to him, but I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's up in his little bed. I can go switch our camera too here in a second. Probably when we get closer to our break, I'll go over and switch it. We can see how he's doing. He's getting old. He's having problems. Doing the best he can. He's 20. There we go. So got should be one finger, two fingers there. One here, one there. I got promoted to chief last week, so a senior non-commissioned officer in the org also added another 32 gigabytes of RAM. Dang! Oh, thank you, Ghost Guy, for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. You're moving on up, Sonny. Holy smokes. We reached our new sub goal. Woo! Hey, we did a thing. Holy shit. How about that? Huzzah. We reached our goal. How do I... You know, Sonny, that RAM can probably be leveraged into some serious money right now with the current prices of GPUs. Yeah, those are... You'd have to sell it pretty fast, though, because those are going down. Oh, does that mean I should start checking the mail for my check? Oh, yeah, go for it. You can start checking it anytime. I'm surprised you haven't been checking it for... waiting for that check overall. Oh, I've got your money held, Ghost Guy. Don't you worry. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for a very special moment. Oh. I currently have 64 gigabytes on my machine with the new kit. I added to it. Dang, you're just cranking now. Where was it? It's here. Bryce, we're still good for Thursday, right? I did miss all of you all last week. Even though we were off doing some fun stuff and doing our vacation stuff, I did miss all of you all. One of those things, once you get doing something for so long and then you don't do it for like a week, you're like, I feel weird. Something don't feel right. There we go. Ooh, glad you brought that up. I will have to let you know. I may have to work. I get my new schedule today, but I did tell them I have a doctor's appointment that day too, so I'm hoping to have the whole day off. I can let you know by 3 p.m. your time today. Yeah, no worries. Like I said, Thursdays are generally like, since I don't have stream on Thursdays, those are like my day offs where I do my social media post stuff in the morning time. And then if I don't have anything pressing as far as like more stuff that I need to get done as far as production, marketing, anything else like that, then I usually sit and I watch shows in the evening time and just chill. So I call it quote unquote like day off. And you know, if you're doing your own marketing, there's no such thing as a day off. You're always doing stuff. I was, since everybody's here now, or popping in, I was showing Ghost Guy beforehand. We got our book 3 sample in finally. So we got a hard copy version of book number 3. Still have some revisions to go through and make sure everything looks great and stuff like that, but having this in hand and being able to make sure everything looks and works great, make some small adjustments here and there for certain things. We can get ready for the final mass production and stuff like that. Is really good. It's always good when you're able to finally get that one sample copy in hand to be able to check and make sure everything looks great. All of your alignments on like your spines and stuff like that are good, and everything here is aligned correctly. There's no cutoffs or anything like that, or weird stripes or anything like that. So it's good to have that one copy in hand. So we finally did get it last week. Got it on one of the days I was gone, so we finally start moving along into our final production stuff. So sounds good. Honestly, I'm in no rush right now. I may have to push the relaunch back to May sometime. Not enough people have time to come on right now. I'm starting a new job, and school is kicking into full gear this week now that we are back from spring break. Yeah, understandable. Always here if you need me. Just call me and I'll be there. There you go. These are very, very, very tiny details. These are smaller than the ones we already cut out up there, so trying to be very careful about this. With the new RAM kit, I think my PC will be stable enough that I can stream again. The C was eating up all of my memory usage along with Discord and Google. Yeah, Google is a big suck on that for any of the browsers are. It always sucks that way. The main reason I added to my RAM and I switched to the browser Brave, yeah. Yeah, see, Bryce says get on it, Sonny, come on. I think that's why a lot of streamers opt to have a gaming PC and a streaming PC for that exact reason. It's just so that one can just handle all of the load on one side of it and the other one can just handle the load of the gaming and stuff like that, so. It's rare, like even in my circumstances, that people run a stream just on one. A lot of the other artists and stuff that you see even on other channels on Twitch and stuff like that, they're running off of a tablet or an iPad or something like that. So then, like it's the same idea, right? You're doing all of the artwork and everything on one machine, so it's not putting the strain on the streaming machine itself. So it's not a bad idea, not a bad way to run it. See, I could use my old PC as a stream PC, but I'd have to look at how to set that up. It's the same idea. So it's kind of what I've got going on with mine, where you have a capture card set up with on one PC, that's your streaming PC, and then your main PC, your gaming PC, that's just an HDMI out of that PC into the capture card. That's all it is. It's the same thing I do with mine. I run my Xbox to my capture card, which then goes to my streaming PC. This way, then they're separate. No different. Same thing. Same idea. Depends on how powerful the machine is, but I agree. 2 PC setups ideal for streaming if you can afford it. Yes. Yes, yes. Very much so. It just compartmentalizes it so that you're not eating up resources while using one or using one to run both. Before my latest update, my OS update on this Mac, I wasn't having any issues with running like Adobe products. I wasn't having problems running Illustrator and doing stream at the same time, but whatever that they changed with this new OS made it so that other resources for their liquid glass or whatever like that became way more resource intensive. So now it's a little bit slower, and sometimes I get a little bit of lag out of OBS because of it. Pardon my head if it's in the way. Gotta get in there to see them details. You may be asking, Tahoe, why is it so hard to be able to cut out like even these little tiny spaces in his ears and stuff like that? It's because instead of cutting straight up and down with the blade, I'm trying to cut them at a little bit of an angle. This way it gives it more of a TP shape for the print. Instead of trying to come down on that, like a thin block style, it could snap off for the linoleum. If we give it more material underneath, then it's less likely to break and lose the details. I just updated to OS Tahoe a week ago so I can stream F1 on my laptop, and it's awful. It looks terrible, and so many of my apps are crashing unexpectedly now. Yeah. And I looked into going backwards and picking up the old one, and because all of my backups were saved through Time Machine and everything like that, I was going to lose all of those backups for the progress that I made. So I'm like, well, onwards, I guess we have to go, and hopefully they push some more updates that fix a bunch of the OS Tahoe problems. So I just cause problems everywhere I go. It's just kind of the way I work. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by, I waited like 6 months. So like macOS Tahoe came out, I might have even waited 8 months. It came out last year. And yeah, it's been a few months now, so it's almost been a year. Almost been a year since it's come out now. And I waited a good 6-7 months to download the new one, because generally, like when an OS comes out, it's got a couple weeks or maybe a month of being a little funky, and then they figure out how to smooth things out. They have not done that yet. I'm actually kind of surprised at how, like you've experienced, Bryce, how buggy it actually has been. And I've had to go through on my system preferences and stuff like that and shut off like 90% of the liquid glass things and so many features, and even then it still has a little hiccups every once in a while. It's kind of funky dory in that way. Like I even removed, how you can have widgets on your screen? I had to remove all the widgets because those were causing part of the issues as well. Anything that is basically, what they did is they revamped how the visualizers understands what's on the screen because of the liquid glass. Because when you layer things on top of each other, some of them have the overlap or the fuzzy, blurry liquid, the glass part of it that's supposed to see through. Because of how they designed that and put that together, now it has to take into consideration way more things, and it's so buggy. I read about it. It's more complicated than I know how to explain, but not to mention a lot of the developers haven't updated their code for the new OS as well. They're really behind too. It usually gets better right before they release the next named version. That's kind of Apple's MO. Yeah. Generally, they're pretty good about getting on to fixing issues and stuff like that. This one feels really slow. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels bad. But, you know, like with most things, subscriptions and everything else, it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna feel good. I think that always online model of everything is, I think it has a potential, like with updates and everything else like that, like there's a potential for things to get fixed and do things like that, which is wonderful. But I think the way they do things where they always have to add new features, always have to blah blah blah, and it's like that constant always having to push it to have something new and different and innovative and stuff like that. Eventually just runs into, I'm out of fucking ideas, just do something. Just make it do something new, which just never works out. This is by far the worst update I have experienced since switching to Apple in 2013. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I've been through way more of these generations than you have too. Did we talk about that book Enshittification? Yes, we did. Yeah, it's all of that for sure. Enshittification of all the things. It's unfortunate, and it's one of those things that I have to think about and consider when I'm working on my projects and how I want to build the marketing and the stuff that I want around all of this. Do I want to keep this a artistic endeavor, or do I want to keep this or change it into a business endeavor? And if it becomes a business endeavor, then the enshittification of things becomes inevitable at some point, especially if you get big enough, right? That's just kind of how the rules of all this works. Like, if you get enough employees, at some point there's a line that you hit where then you have to start screwing them over. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It all falls apart. Like, that's just kind of the way business models work that way. And there are outliers that happen that show that you don't have to do that, but just capitalism, baby. Yeah, just about them monies. Quick, fast profits. Make my spreadsheet go up. Make number go up. I don't care how, just make number go up. I'm not bitching, I'm just trying to be realistic and understand what is actually going on with all of this. All right. Ooh, I know what I need to do. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go move our camera so that we can get our assistant in the shot here. So I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, I've returned. Let's do this. Switch this. Move over here. Aha, perfect timing. There he is. There's our 20-year-old man. I know my old rig has 64 gigabytes of DDR RAM. You should be able to run, like, as long as you're not doing anything crazy in OBS, you should be able to run it with that. Especially if it's just running that by itself.
Sunny_Ruth bet the assistant.
Oh, thank you, Sunny, for petting our assistant. I still have a couple of those features that we talked about that I want to add to the stream, but...
Sunny_Ruth bet the assistant.
Looks like our ads are fast today. Oh my god, it looks like he almost, like he recognized he was getting pets. Somebody loves me. He's all curled up in his little baby blanket. Poor old guy, he's trying his best. He's still trying to like run around and do different things, but you can tell he's starting to feel it. He's starting to feel it a lot more. You can tell. I mean, I was streaming on that rig before and doing, yeah, Star Citizen as well. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're gonna split it and you're just gonna do Star Citizen on the on your main big PC and then run that on your running OBS on your other PC, you'd be more than fine probably. But I could definitely tell my rig was struggling. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Star Citizen's a huge though. That's a huge draw. I think probably the main thing was if you're going to do a streaming PC, you'd want to make sure and go through and get rid of as much of the bloatware as possible, and then any of the extra features that like Microsoft tries to run in the background or whatever, make sure all of that's turned off, so that it can just specifically just work on running OBS for the stream part of it. And the capture card. Now to find space to move it back into my room. We have convinced him. Yay! I am convinced. So I've worked on enough. I've built enough houses in higher end communities that I watched every house have its own server room essentially.
Sunny_Ruth bet the assistant.
I would not be surprised if at some point most houses end up converting and having some type of server rooms for themselves. I would not be surprised about that. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Here and keep going. I would not be surprised. There would be server rooms in people's houses at some point. Read a happy little eye. Perfect. Perfect. Nice little roundy there. Let's get this nose back in here. Don't know how we're going to cut this expression in here, but we're going to try. We're going to try. Very nice, very nice. Okay. really, 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 really thin little whiskers in here that we're trying to cut out. This is the smallest details of the whole print here. Hopefully they come out, no guarantees. I'm not super hopeful on these ones. But we're gonna try. See what we can get. Hey, thank you Ghost Guy for putting your points towards our assistant patch. Let me double check to see. We're at 41% with 18 days left here. Oh, we're getting there. Slowly. Slowly, slowly. Let's try to do this one. My scroll stopped. Did you see the new Super Mario movie? I did not, but my son went and saw it. He said it was okay. He said it was basically just a glorified Instagram reel. Like, it was just a bunch of clips. There was no real story that continued or connected anything together. It was just basically highlight clips, the whole movie. And he's a big Mario fan, so. I meant to ask, have you thought about multi-streaming? Like having multi-stream, having multiple people stream at the same time? Is that what you're talking about? No, like streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Yes, I've looked into it. I set it up for a little bit. Even on the DPS side of those streams, I can get it to work. It's fine. The structure for getting paid is a little bit different on how that works. So I just never really, if for some reason the videos or whatever got popular, even on this channel, I would consider it again. But for now, it was like, meh. Yeah, I think if the, like for these streams and stuff like that, since I do end up taking these and exporting them over to YouTube, if those videos started getting traction, I would probably do the multi-stream and have it go to both, more than likely. Funny thing is like at one point when I was back in the day when I was doing my Halo stuff, the costuming and building the weapons and stuff like that, I actually did have partnership on YouTube, and used to get paid for it. And then eventually, when they changed all those requirements and stuff like that, I end up having to give it up. So I have to build back up to get to where I need to be able to get paid on YouTube again. Which is funny because I still have the subscriber account. You know, like a bunch of subscribers on there, so. I got ink all over me, which hopefully is just from this stuff up here. Nothing too bad from down here. The little patch character, that's going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, the Spartan looking for work. I think the videos where I was actually like building the weapons and stuff, like kind of like this same format, those were the ones that were the most popular. As much as Outer Work Spartan was fun, did not resonate with people. Go figure. Love that video. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I had a lot of fun building those and making those videos at that time. I think a lot of the stuff that I do on, even on my social media videos, because I do a 60-second video every week for the whole year. The humor and stuff that I kind of have in Outer Work Spartan is very much still the same humor that I'm using in the book project stuff. It's like slight potty humor, but not like over the top kind of stuff. Definitely my favorite. The dancing one was entertaining as well. But that's deep underground stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. Deep, deep underground. Those are deep cuts right there. Back in my day, back in the old days, I wonder if anybody actually if anybody remembers that stuff. If there's some, I would say kid out there, but some person out there that saw those early on and just thought that those were funny, magical little beginning YouTube videos, and I wonder if that resonates with them at all. I wonder. You never know. You never know what's going to connect with people, and 20, 30 years down the road, somebody's just like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that at one point and being like, what, really, what? I'm sure someone did. Maybe. They may never admit it, but maybe. I think that's the interesting thing about being in the space and stuff like that is that I don't necessarily have a wanton desire to like entertain. I have more of a desire to just create fun and interesting and crazy things. Well, sometimes crazy things, based on like stuff that I'm interested in or studying or trying to figure out or playing with and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what led me to like doing these types of streams and stuff like that, is just because I do a lot of process things and I can talk about a lot of this stuff, and it just works out fine. Dang, 74K the DMR video. Yeah. Numa guys, still a heavy hitter. Yeah, see, I don't know if I would have kept doing a whole bunch of stuff if it would have made a big difference. That song is a straight banger. For anybody that wants to know, if you want to see some of my old videos, you can go over to the Tahoe Anime YouTube channel. I think all of those are in a playlist. It's the Out of Work Spartan playlist. It was something I created during the financial crash. I lost my job, and it was kind of like starting part of it there, and then it started into that series when after I lost my job and everything like that. But yeah, it was fun time trying to figure out my possibilities of what I could do while living in a small town with very limited possibilities. Ooh, stasis symbols. Can I order a set of all the hunter ones? You're talking about these guys? Ghost guy was talking about these earlier too. Yeah. So these were a loot crate setup. So I don't know if you can get these still or not, but these were part of a bigger bundle that came with this, a sweatshirt, and a few other things from the loot crate. But yeah, it came with the three symbols from that expansion for each of the classes. It was kind of cool. I'm trying to remember what else came in that box. I bought these separately, the little engrams. I can actually show you guys my whole setup up here at some point. I have everything up above me on my shelf up here. All my fun goodies. Do you guys want a tour of my fun goodies? Is that what you want? Do it, he says. Okay. All right, so we're gonna jostle you around a little bit here. So we got all kinds of stuff up here.
Got a little blank ghost I haven't painted yet. Got some Gundam stuff. Got free run right here. There's our pulse rifle there. That's a ghost. That's the one I made back in the day. That's the one that came in the special edition one, the one that talks and does all the stuff. Just a little doggo. Doggo. There's our stranger. There's Cade back there in the back with his little chicken, little engrams. There's Anya up there. There's a disc that Ghost Guy gave me. That one's always here with me. Always next to my desk. And then I've got all of my goodies here in our box. My little pins and stuff like that. All kinds of fun goodies. I'm trying to think what else I have over here. I've got that stuff there. I got all my books here. There's the Xbox there. There's our power for our camera. All kinds of stuff. Oops. I messed it up. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how to put this back. There you go. You got a little tour of the stuff.
Just redeemed sparkles emoji. Tahoe cheer, sparkles emoji.
Yeah, I still have the disc. Of course I do. That's one of my most prized possessions up there on the wall. That's not going anywhere. All the stuff that people have gotten me out. The one Gundam mug that was up there, it's actually in the back of that stuff. That's the one actually Alex sent me as well. So yeah, I keep all this stuff. I got all the stuff that people have sent me. Maybe I'll come by and play some Destiny with guys sometime, but I have a feeling right now that unless other people want to do stuff, it will be very short-lived. Yeah, even if you just want to come by, like Alex just comes by sometimes and just chats with us, hangs out for a few minutes, says hi, shoots the shit, and then takes off. So it's always open. I let people know that all the time, because I know, like, Ichabus was talking to me. He's like, I don't know if I'll be on Tuesday. I'm like, dude, you don't ever have to be here on Tuesday. Nobody has to do any of this stuff. It's just for funsies. It's just a nice way to be able to get together and connect with people, so that you all have a definitive place and time that you know that at least I will be. So that's the way the DPS stuff works. So that's all it is. I would come back for a few nights. I see the little Sasabi. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to be here and see that. As I said, I have all of the things people give me. I keep them all. I might not have them all of them on display, but I do have them all. It's right there. Well, sometimes I feel like I've started to become a very, very much retired admin, because I'm not very involved like I once was. That's okay. Like, we are at a point where the game and everything like that we used to put so much time and effort into, it's not doing those things that we needed to do anymore. So, like, that's why I structured things the way I structured them, is because we get to take things off. I wish Marathon would have been that thing that reinvigorated a bunch of stuff, but without having any, like, real PvE stuff, it was like, well, it's going to be kind of just going to be sweaty stuff. So it's just trials by itself is what it is. So it's like, no, you're good, Ghost Guy. Don't worry about that. Do life and do things, and don't worry about the group. I think the big thing is like, if everything was hopping and jumping and there was a lot going on, that's when we need, like, more admin support to be in there to help moderate things and do different things. But when we're in this lowered capacity and stuff like that, like, no, we all get to chill, kind of like right now and see how things go and figure things out. So you need to come fight for democracy with us, Helldivers. It's only PvE. I've watched that game. My son plays that game a bunch, and it's hilarious. I think I'm kind of waiting to see what the next. I don't know. I don't know. The game industry is in a weird place. Like, I really like the idea of pushing more into the indie space and playing a lot of those games and stuff like that and giving money towards that. But, you know, a lot of the bigger games and stuff like that, they just don't have, I don't know, they don't have the mustard to capture people. Like, it's, I don't know, it's weird. I thought about buying it, but I still have a backlog of games I need to finish. I've never really gotten deep into open world sandbox games before. Yeah, same thing, Sonny, because they don't really feel as open as I think I want them to be. I don't know. I don't know what experience I'm looking for now. It seems like it's weird to think about like Destiny in the 10 years that we've spent playing that game and doing all of the things and being like, cool, that's a decade of our life that we've put towards this really fun thing. What's next? You know, it's like, what do I want to spend? Do I want to spend another 10 years on a game of some sorts in some way? Do I want to just jump around and putz around and play different things? And like, where am I in this process here? And, you know, and then seeing all of the stuff that's happening with gaming and the industry for technology as it is, it's just like, I don't know where my place is in any of this stuff anymore. I could do Skyrim, but it would always lose me. Yeah. But then here I am almost a year into Star Citizen. That's the thing, is like, I think people are looking for, it used to be like the top 3 games, like Call of Duty, Halo, and maybe a couple others. Maybe there were like 5 or whatever. Like, those were the big ones, right? The big AAA games. And that's just kind of what we all gravitated around, a lot of stuff. But it's smoothed out, and there's a lot more like fringe outside stuff that is popping up and available, and a lot of the inner stuff is just kind of like, that's the same thing. We've done that for 10 years. I'm ready for something different, something new. And they're like, no, but you want this. I'm like, no, I want something new. No, but you want the same thing in a bright new package. No, I want something new. Indie is a great route. I also play a lot of AA games. I'm playing Banishers, Ghost of New Eden right now. It is pretty awesome. Love the voice acting and storytelling. Combat is a bit generic, but still fun. Crazy that it's almost been a year. I know, right? Well, right now I've just been playing more old school games. If I'm playing in games, yes, which makes sense. It's the comfort food, right? Sometimes you got to go back to your tried and true games that you've played before. Your familiar surroundings. And I was telling my son yesterday with the crash of a couple some of those AI companies and stuff like that, and some of the RAM prices going back down because they're basically, since a bunch of those deals fell through, now those RAM is coming back onto the market and stuff like that. I would be interested to see how that Steam box that they're developing. I don't want it to be over $1,000, but I mean, like, I would not fault them for making it that much, because it's a PC and a cube essentially. But for me, that would be a great. I feel like I would like that better than trying to build a PC to play games on and stuff on the Steam. I don't know why. I like the ecosystem of having a dedicated machine for the gaming just itself. Like I've loved the Xbox for years and stuff like that. I'm a little sad that a lot of the features and stuff that they used to have for it, they've cut out of the picture, which just kind of sucks dick. But you know, I understand how the markets move and things change, and other, you know, smaller app developers and stuff like that make better stuff than their native stuff. So why would they keep some of theirs? But anyways, like that Steam box is interesting because that would give me a dedicated place to be able to play Steam games on and stuff like that. Because we do. Dreamer and I don't have that. Both my kids have it. They both. Daughter has her laptop that she's really happy with, plays games on. Son has his PC that he just bought himself. It's got all of his bells and whistles on it that he's happy, plays games on and stuff like that. Dreamer and I have never really, besides having an Xbox, which we use basically for multimedia, everything, TV, movie, and a little bit of gaming stuff. We never bought ourselves a Switch. We probably should have. We don't have a PC for Steam stuff and things like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I wish I knew more about it. I wish I knew if it was going to be stable enough to be excited about, I guess. I think it's easily enough the community that keeps me tethered to Star Citizen in New York. I mean, that makes sense. Work call, I'm back. More components young up the way they are with going up. Wow, that got way mixed up. I saw something about ads in game and I was like, scum of the earth. Yeah, it's an interesting like prospect. It's funny that we spent from, I don't even know if it was from 2000s, maybe after that, 2005, maybe 2010. We spent from like 2010 till now in a world where we didn't really have to deal with ads. Like if you picked up Netflix, you had almost access to everything on the internet, every TV show, every movie, every whatever, blah blah blah. No ads and everything else like that. But now everybody's like, oh, ad revenue is the only way to make, and they're going back to it. It's kind of fucking weird. I was so happy all those years being like, I don't have cable, so I don't have to watch advertisements. And now I don't have cable, but now I have to watch ads anyways. I'm back to watching ads again. It's like, God damn it. We went backwards. We have 2 Switches. Switch is awesome. I know, right? That's the thing, is like being a parent and trying to be fiscally responsible and stuff like that. I want my kids to have fun and do stuff, and now that they're older, we get to do a different little setup with them, that if they want something like Switch 2 like my son did, he had to earn the money for it, and I drove him to the GameStop and we waited in line for it, and I actually went and pre-ordered it for him because he was going to miss it because he was gone at one point. So like that's the different change in that, where, but at the same time, like I don't want to spend the money on myself for something like that because it feels like I'm slightly being irresponsible. I don't know why. It's dumb, but Dreamer and I are bad at that. we will tend to save money and put that all towards kids and doing stuff like that rather than doing something for ourselves, which technically is something that we would get to do with our kids too. So it's dumb all around. I don't know. Consoles are my favorite as well, but I do love having a Steam account. I've got some great indies on suggestion of my friends though through it. Plus, I much prefer playing Civ on a computer over a console. Yeah, that makes sense. It's because they make so much money off from ads. Oh yeah, no, I know why they do it. It just sucks. My fiance bought me mine. Aw, that's cute. But I bought her the PS5. Nice. That's the way it works. Alright everyone, I'm off to class. Have a great day. Y'all, Tahoe, I will keep you in the loop about my schedule. Yes, please do. Thank you, Bryce. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Appreciate you. Love you, bro. For anybody who didn't know, that is Dreamer's brother, Mr. Bryce. Oh, oh goodness, Ash and her husband still play Destiny? Yeah, it's very rare now. Since the game has really cooled off and their daughter was born, their second child, less time being able to get on and play. I think if there was something exciting happening or going on, they might pop in. Same thing with with my son as well. I think if there was something exciting going on, they would probably come back. But since things are very lackadaisical right now, not much going on there. Shit, we might get everybody. If there was a Destiny 3 announce of some sort, I think we'd definitely get everybody back. We'd definitely get a lot of people back. Haven't talked to them in forever. I just saw them this weekend. We went over and did Easter stuff on Sunday. Gotta go be aunt and uncle to the little ones, the little kids. Always fun. But pop-ups are another story. I think the pop-ups are annoying. So we resubscribed to Hulu Disney Plus because they had like a $5 for 3 months thingamajiggy. We're just like, yeah, fuck it, $5, that's not bad. But we didn't do the no ads version because that was like $20, and I was like, nope. So yeah, we just like straight just mute the ad at the beginning, we mute the ad in the middle, and mute the ad at the end because we know they're coming. The pop-up ones that just show up at random, those ones just suck. Pop-up ads suck. Maybe that's what will bring me back. Yes, my Mr. Jerf. I think it would. I think, and that's the big question, right? If they did do a D3, what would they do? And how would the community react to that? Like, I think we're to the point where we're basically begging them, being like, no, make this. Like, we will buy it. We are telling you straight up, if you make D3, we will freaking buy it. Literally waiting to throw money at you for it. It's not that we don't like D2, it's just that D2 is at its limits. It cannot do what any more new things at some point. We do need it, you are correct. There is too much power creep. And not enough of a reason to play. Yeah. But let us keep our cosmetics. We need to reset. I think as much as it was hard to let go of D1 and go into D2, it really did reinvigorate that draw to go get the stuff and experience all the things new, right? I think people just get burnt out of the same thing over and over again. And I don't think the big companies have quite figured out. You don't have to. I know it's a big deal to create a whole new game and stuff like that. And they'd rather just continue to draw out on the one that they've already made. But it's about retention, right? Like they're all concerned about retaining people in their ecosystem and stuff like that, but it can't stay that way forever. We've seen the numbers just go down. So it can't keep us in there forever. You got to give us something new. We need a reset. Ghost Guy, I was thinking about that. I was like, what if D2 just straight made us start over? No, it's got to be something new. It can't just start over, because like we can just delete all of our stuff and start a new character. It's not the same. No, it needs a whole new life, in some other form. I still am salty about losing my arsenal. Yeah. D2 launch was so bad though. Oh yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, it's the same thing like with the Mac OS and stuff like that. Sometimes it's got to be bad at the beginning. The funny part is like, it doesn't have to be bad at the beginning, but that seems to be the process, right? It's got to be shit at the beginning, and then people are like, oh, you need to do this and this, and you're like, oh wow, that's really good information, and then they go change stuff and they're like, oh, it's a little bit better now, a little bit better. Like, it's hard. The static rolls on weapons, such a terrible idea. Yeah. There were some bad decisions made at the beginning. Like, they literally didn't take anything they learned from D1 into D2. That was the roughest part. Just like, fuck that shit. They learned nothing. I mean, the only thing about that is they did figure out what people didn't want. That is true. They did it the hard way, but they did figure that out. I think that's what's so interesting about like the portal and stuff like that, that I forget which interview it was, but they were talking about it, and they're like, oh, back in GDC, back in the day before D1 came out, the portal was their presentation that they gave about how they wanted players to move around in the space to get into activities and stuff like that. And it was literally met with, fuck no, this is terrible, that they took, what, 2 or 3 months before the game even launched and redesigned the whole entire director system to be what it is in D1. And somehow that scrapped idea was still in a folder somewhere, and probably some executive pulled it out and was just like, ah, fuck it, just do that. We've already got it on the books. Let's just make that work. It's like, god damn. Damn, brother. Dude, the Portal is bad. And it's bad. I hate it. I hate to say it, but it's just my opinion. No, it's... I like how some of it is compartmentalized. Like with the Guardian Games thing, like at least I can go to that section and it will give me all of the activities. It will give me all of the stuff like in that whatever. But as far as like navigating that thing, it's terrible. Like I never know where anything is or what's going on, or half the times when I pick up some kind of bounty or whatever it is, and it's just like, oh, do this thing. I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck that is to find that information. And it doesn't tell you. And I usually have to ask Ichabus, and he goes, I can't believe you didn't know this. And I'm like, I'm not surprised by that at all. And then there are times when he's just like, hey, how do you do the XYZ? I'm like, it's here. And he goes, I never knew that. I was like, dude, we're all in the same boat. Nobody knows where anything is. That is not our failing, that is the design failing. The Portal is just a terrible... I know I'm not trying to bag on them or anything like that, it's just... it doesn't work, it's just not very good. But that's the kicker, right? You'd have to spend time, money, and effort to get it to working correctly, and that's not the priority right now. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of these details in here. We're going to try. So we got this character done. Now we'll have to go through and take out all the rest of the stuff in between. But I think I'm going to try to get this last one cut in here, and then I have the words, and then we can clear out all of the junk in between. Still have another hour of stream to come up here, so we might be able to get some of that done. Probably not all of it, but some of it. Like, understand what they were trying to do with the portal. But I swear it just feels very lifeless because of it. Yeah, and it really does. I think that is a fair assessment. Definitely does not have the same feeling that other parts of the game have had. It just feels unimportant. I think I have to cut all of this by razor blade this time. I don't think I get to use my tool at all for this one. Details for this are just way too thin. Let me see what you say. And I haven't even played in a while, and it's making my blood boil just a bit. I guess if I do come back, I'll come back with a I don't care attitude about a lot of things. Yeah, that is true. It's unfortunate because we don't want to have that attitude. But it sucks when they make the choice for you to make you feel like that. All right, we are coming up on our our second to last break here. In about 1:30. So let me swap it back over here. We'll swap to our assistant cam. Blah blah. There he is. All right. I didn't get to talk about this last time, but we are going to take a 3-minute break here coming up very shortly. If you are not subscribed to the channel, you'll have to watch those ads. If you're subscribed to the channels, you won't have to watch those ads. Regardless of that, we do have our assistant Patch who's going to watch over you guys for that time being, or you get to watch over him while he's taking his nap here. And then when we come back, we'll keep going with what we're working on. This way you guys don't miss anything. And I get a chance to walk around, grab something to drink, and do that. So a 3-minute break. Tahoe doesn't get a break. Yes, he is alive. He does move. I hope he's alive. He's still breathing, right? Yeah, he's breathing. Yeah, I get a little bit of a break in here. It's the only way this works. All right, peoples. We will see you here shortly. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin by listening.
All right, I have returned. Thank you, Patch, for watching our peoples here. Appreciate that. You did perk up a little bit there. Not a lot of bits, a little bit. Welcome back, Commander. Good to be back. The song is super jazzy. Okey-dokey. Ooh, I don't know if that one's gonna hold or not. We'll see. Okay, I'm off. Get more work done. Later, my friend. Thank you for coming by, Ghost Guy. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you decide to stop by on Tuesday or Saturday, that's all good. If not, that's all good as well. We'll be around. I will continue the awkward social group as long as it is necessary. Let's see what I can do with this here. again. Shucks. Keep putting myself in a bad position to have that happen. Basically, I'm skipping across the linoleum and I'm cutting spots that I should not be cutting. It's okay. Getting there. Very tiny details. Very tiny details. Ooh. Sure, I was able to do that, but I did it very haphazardly. Right around those little eyes down there. Very hard to do. Let's see. I think the rest of it has to be done with the knife. I don't think I can do any more of it with the cutter. Pretty sure. We're getting there. Very, very slow. Let's see. So question, how much is sentiment worth? Ooh. My truck just got fixed, but in the waiting period, my dad got me a new truck. He bought it and is like, okay, now you owe me for it. I'm like, okay, fair. Now that my truck is fixed, he's like, this is the family truck, not just yours anymore. And I'm like, no, now I have two trucks. So he offers me money for it, and I'm like, I'd rather have my truck. But now I'm like, maybe my reasoning behind it is because of sentimental value that I have with it. You are itching on a very hard point. My dad went through something very similar when him and my mom had to sell their house that basically my dad built himself. He bought the lot, built the house. We had to move into it because we literally were homeless. We were living in a trailer next to it while it was being built. And he couldn't sell it, so we ended up moving into it, and he became attached to it over the years and years and years. And I understand part of that. I also understand like part of everything in our world and everything in our life is temporary. It's just stuff, right? But at the same time, things cost money, and like life is hard in different ways and in different aspects and stuff like that. So it's a hard question to ask. Do we live off of the sentiment, or do we move on with our life and our world in different ways? I don't know if I have an answer for it. I think for me, I bounce around from stuff different times. I have a whole garage full of stuff from when I was doing this. Like, I literally have this from when I was in college, this piece of vinyl. that I kept in my art portfolios from all of my artwork that I did, which was freaking years and years and years ago. Like, was it sentiment that kept it around? Was it just me being a hoarder in some ways? Like, it ended up being useful, but what is the point where it's no longer useful or being able to fulfill the thing that I needed to fulfill in certain ways, and just taking up space or being problematic? I had an old Jeep that I wanted to keep around, and it was literally just kept trying to die on me. And I wanted to, even after we bought the truck that I'm currently in, my Tacoma, I wanted to keep the Jeep around and fix it up and see if I could, get it back into a good running shape and stuff like that. But I didn't have any money to do that with. So it became a point where then I just had to sell it. I just had to get rid of it because it was sitting around in the driveway and taking up space and doing a whole bunch of stuff that it just didn't need to be there. It was probably going to serve a better purpose if somebody else could buy it, fix it up, and actually use it rather than just sitting and falling apart in my driveway. So all that it came down to. So I don't know. It is just a truck, but definitely a lot of memories with it. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, we all have attachment to our stuff. Like I said, I have a whole garage full of some of my old toys and everything else that I don't have on display here over the computer and everything else like that I've kept. There are sentimental value in a lot of stuff. Some stuff I have given away, some stuff I have gotten rid of over the years. I think it really just depends. I look at some of the stuff, like my grandparents are getting up into their 90s now, and they're starting to have conversations about, even with my daughter, be like, if you want any of the stuff, like my grandma gave away a bunch of jewelry to my daughter and stuff like that so that she can cut it up and make it into new jewelry stuff. And she's getting rid of a bunch of different stuff at her house, and it's like, do I give away the stuff now, or do I not worry about it and you all just go ham over it once I'm gone? It's like, I like the idea of being able to give my stuff to people that want it. Like my kids have claimed a few things of mine over the years. My son gets Dungeon Protocols. That was his big want. He's like, Dad, if you die, I want Dungeon Protocols. I'm like, I'll write it in the will for you, son. I'm sorry. I can do that for you. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Sentimental stuff is hard. Was my truck since my 18th birthday, and the money he's offering, I'm sure, is much more than what it's worth now. A literal over your dead body, lol. Yeah. No, that's a hard question. I think when it comes to vehicles and stuff like that, there are certain objects in our life that you can justify as far as like safety, comfort, and things like that. An older truck compared to a newer truck, you're going to get much more safety features. You're going to get much more, a lot more stuff because it's newer like that, right? More efficient, more whatever like that. So you can look at it that way and say, okay, this upgrade is justified in this way for one, my comfort, my safety and stuff like that. That makes a whole bunch of sense. And then you said it's going to go to a family, right? It's going to be will the older truck become a family truck? Is it like an either or? 2005 versus 2019. Yeah. 15 years is a pretty big jump for cars. That's the difference between not having a screen and having a screen and backup camera. That's a pretty big difference. The older truck will be for anyone to use if needed. Yeah. I always get into the rub that if something is just going to, I don't mind upgrading to something as long as the former thing still has a life somewhere to doing, especially a vehicle, right? That's very, very useful to people. So I don't know. I wish I could give you a good, feel good story answer, something to go on, but I don't know. Humans are weird in how we figure out how to justify certain things and understand stuff. I know I have certain like rules and certain things that I've put together for my brain on how to navigate through some of that stuff. But it's also not a system that works for everybody, so I don't know. Was told I can still drive it, so I guess it should be fine to give up. Just won't be mine. I guess the question is would you be okay with that? Is it okay for it not to be yours? You still have the memories. You still have, I'm assuming that there's photos and stuff of you with it and everything else like that. Like giving something up is a hard thing, but being able to be okay with it is probably the hardest part of it. I think that's always where I come down to it. Can I take a deep breath and be like, no, this is the better option for whatever justification reason I come up with, and I can give yourself that peace of mind, and be like, no, I'm okay with this. This is a good thing overall. I think we would all love for some of those decisions to be made for us. Like if your truck just broke down completely and they're just like, well, it's going to cost you like $5,000 or $10,000 to get this fixed and redone and stuff like that. And you're like, well, fuck, for that money, I should just buy a new one. Like sometimes those decisions are made for us in those weird ways. But not always. Sometimes you kind of have to, you got to push yourself down that road. That's a hard one. That's a very hard one, Sonny. I feel for you on that. Yeah, engine was rebuilt. Yeah. Yeah, sadly this one's going to come down to how it makes you feel. I wish I could give some better advice on how to look at the situation, but this is not one of those ones. Leap of faith. A leap of faith. Into the unknown. Ooh, this one's very thin. The only other thing I can think of is that people do tend to hold on to certain stuff for too long, too. People tend to hang in the past and hold on to the thing that they know, especially when there's uncertainty. The thing in therapy a lot. New things scare us. Understandable. That was a little nerve-wracking. That's a tiny. I also have to do the mouth and the nose, which are also extra tiny. Got these little hands to do. Such tiny details here for this little character. Still not comfortable parking the new truck. Feels so much bigger. They are bigger. Trust me, they are. You're not feeling that. That is literally, they are bigger. You are not hallucinating that. That was designed on purpose. I think we were having a conversation with Alex about that because we were talking about K trucks and stuff like that. He would be a good one to talk to about some of that as well. He knows a lot about trucks. My old one was just swing right in. Yeah, my truck is that same way. My Tacoma. I have to. My wife's always just like, man, why do you swing out so wide? I'm like, you get in the driver's seat and you turn this wheel, and you tell me how much maneuverability we have in this long ass bed of a truck and stuff like that. It's way different than your car. Much shorter wheelbase, much shorter front to back, all around. Just, you guys can turn, you and my son both can turn on a dime with your cars because it's just built that way. Mine is not. What's up? What's up, Patch? What you need, buddy? The Sora at the door? Is that what you're meowing at me for? He likes to be my door alarm for the dog. No, she's not there. She is. He just saw her outside and was just like, "Oh, she's there," and she's laying on the deck sleeping. This is the one that's going to make me a little nervous. I'm going to do this detail right by the mouth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut the little space in between his nose there. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. That might be a little bit too small. Sorry for being extra quiet right now. I'm really concentrating on this. May even be breathing really heavy into the microphone. Tiny little pause. This is where like having a laser would be really nice because I could just have it cut all these details for me. All right, getting close to the end of our stream here. Oh, it's flying somewhere. I don't know where that went. Okay. Can't believe I was able to get all of that detail in there. Just barely, maybe. Part of this will, like I've talked about before, some of this will have to be printed or like test printed and see where there's details that need to be readjusted before we can go too much further on getting everything printed. Getting all of our bags printed. I hear you, Patch. I hear you. I know, buddy. You're okay. He goes, I'm not okay. I'm old. Got the ear cut out there. Words left to do. But then we got to take out the rest of this big chunk stuff. So after hearing you talk about it, I went, okay, and now it's time to put that money to work. For the old truck or the new truck? So we're talking about.
Or the old truck. Gotcha. Hopefully it was good enough advice. It's hard. It's hard to let go of stuff. Yeah, it was. Okay, cool. Sweet. Made me think about it rationally. Sweet. That's what I do. I'm the rational man. Sometimes that's a hard thing to do. Sometimes thinking rationally is hard. Especially if there are feelings and emotions attached to things. Sentimentality is very, very difficult. It's one of the harder emotions to have to go with. I think for me, it's always like, I know nothing will last forever, you know? As much as I wanted to keep that Jeep around and stuff like that, it wasn't going to last forever. I can try to do, even like Alex has suggested, like I could try to do as much as I can for those cars and stuff like that. And they're next to literally stripping the car down in my garage, piece by piece, bolt by bolt, and then cleaning everything, putting new stuff together, and rebuilding the entire thing. It will not be, it will not go back to the way it was when I first got it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Everything wears down, wears out. What was that one story? There was a guy, he loved his little Toyota Tercel, little gold Toyota Tercel. He loved it so much that he would actually go and buy other Toyota Tercels that would go on the market. So, and he would put them in his storage, that when something broke down on his, he would actually take the parts out of the other Tercel and put it into his, so that he had one good one that he could drive around all of the time. It was a fascinating story of just being like, but you have to have the ability to do something like that, to be able to buy those and store them and use them as parts and everything else like that. So I don't know. It's a hard conversation because we are consumers. We do use up things, and I'm one of those people that, like, I'm wearing a sweater right now that I've got holes in it and everything else. Like, I'll wear a piece of clothing until it literally like disintegrates off of my body. Not a good idea, not a good thing to do, not a good precedence to set for yourself, but at the same time, like, I'm bad at not necessarily letting this stuff go, but trying to make sure to get, you know, things to last. I don't like the turnover rate of stuff being like, oh, I wore it for
3 months. Now it's time to get something new. It's like, I'm not that type of person. Can't replace feelings. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, once you get down into the weeds and you start thinking about it, you're like, I will always have the feelings. I was always have the memories and stuff like that. That is the one thing that can't be taken away from me. And I may not have the original thing anymore, the same truck, the same car, the Jeep, whatever it is, but I have the memories and I can thank the vehicle for giving me all of that time that it did. And now hopefully it'll be useful to somebody else in certain ways. Hopefully. Understanding the impermanence of everything, even ourselves. I struggle with that even with like DPS, and I like talking with Ghost Guy about this at the beginning of the stream, and him feeling like he's not doing very much as an admin. It's just like, Ghost Guy, I would love for DPS just to last forever, and in some form it will, but it's not something that's gonna be like everybody's gonna be doing. As we get older and things change, it's not always going to be a thing. It's just not. That's okay. It's okay that things can be impermanent. It served its purpose while it was needed, and that's good. That's what it's there for. We'll wear my clothes out completely. Oh yeah, dude, I need a pair of shoes again so badly. I've got Fred Flintstone shoes right now where there's no soles at the bottom of them. I'm trying to stop my car by putting my feet down. I just got a new pair. Nice. Got the same type with the same brand because it was really a good pair of shoes. Man, you can't beat a good pair of shoes. Like, if you get a good pair of shoes and your feet are happy, bro, you're happy. Because if you get a pair of shoes and your feet are not happy, oh my god, it's awful. It is awful. And yes, I've started using the word bro more often now because my kids keep using it on me, and I'm starting to pick it up now. I'm not thrilled with it, but it is something that is happening. Someone will come up to me, bro. I'm like, no. But at the same time, yeah, I get you. I got a limited edition Year of the Horse, so I'll be attached to these because that's my year. Nice. Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of sports in basketball and stuff like that, so I found that buying basketball shoes fit my feet really, really well and comfortable. So that's typically what I end up buying. I wear them forever. But I always hate it when I go to like the mall or something like that, because there's the shoe guys there that want to clean shoes and stuff like that. And there was like, come on, man, come on over, let me clean your Nikes. And I'm just like, nope, dude, these are so old. You don't want to even, they're not even worth cleaning. Sorry. They're so old. Don't have to cut that deep. That's going too deep for that. Getting there. Slowly but steadily. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing all of the excess material here that we don't want to have print material or print ink on it. But as you can see, like when you do it, sometimes it gives you these really deep ridges here. I want to make sure that those don't get picked up, so I'll actually turn my blade here on its side to this one flat edge. Turn on its side, and then I'll cut those little top ridges off so that they're not sticking up as high. So now, like I said, I'll take this flat, I'll go back through, I'll cut down some of those ridges. They're not as tall. There we go. You get the idea now. Then we just got to get rid of the rest of this, and then we got to do the best friends at the bottom. And we'll be done. We'll be ready to try out some printing, so I might have to... This might be our final product that you get to see of this part. I might do some of this work tomorrow off stream, get this all done so that by Wednesday we can actually maybe run some test prints to see how this looks, how this inks up and stuff like that. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll see how it goes. But that's the idea. We are down to our last ad break for the stream here. About 58 seconds out. So let's switch over to... I think our assistant is back off somewhere else on his own, so I don't think he's there right now. Nope, he is not. That's okay. I'll go see if I can find him, but... Nope, he's off somewhere else on his own. So... but we'll pause here for the moment. We'll take the break, we'll come back, do our little wrap up for the afternoon, and then we'll go from there. So stick around, we'll be right back after these messages. Nope, still don't know how, nope, I gotta figure out some way to introduce these. We'll be back. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Let's switch back here. All right, everybody. We have reached the end of our stream. For the day, I will be back on Wednesday. We should be back on our regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. So I will be back on Wednesday for a 9 to 11 stream. I was gonna say stream o'clock. Wow. But yeah. Hopefully, like I said, we're getting down to the point now where we've got lots of new exciting things that I'm going to be working on as we reach our 3-month point before the release of book number 3. I know I already showed it a couple times on stream, but book 3, yay! It's on its way. It's getting there. Just got to make some adjustments and some changes, and then we will be on our way towards getting these printed out on a big quantity scale and getting ready for in-person events. So that's exciting. But that means that lots of marketing things need to come up, lots of social media things need to come up. So we will be working on all of those very soon. This was the biggest thing that took a lot of time out, so we're gonna see how this all prints out and then go from there. But yeah, but make sure to stay tuned as we continue to get more and more of this stuff rolling and going and figured out. And I still don't know how to end these streams yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. I am still looking for if there are any recommendations for people that we can send over our viewers to. If we do end up having a bunch of viewers at some, like we had 4 people today, but a bunch of those people took off before the end of the stream here. But somebody that we could raid at this time of the day, let me know. I'll look into them, see if they're cool, and we can do something like that. Trying to think what else do I need to do, Sunny? What else do I need to talk about? I feel like I'm missing things, but I don't know. I don't remember. Other than that, I will go through. I'll thank you. Oh, blah, blah. Let's start this over. Hello, I'm Tahoe. Thank you to Ghost Guy for coming in here. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Bryce, for coming in here. There's one more. Bryce, Sunny, Ghost Guy. Who else was here? I thought there was one other. It said there was 4. Maybe it was just those 4. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just like, I feel like there's more stuff. That's okay. I'll talk about it. I'll go through more on Wednesday, or have more to talk about on Wednesday. That's fine. Hopefully you will have... Blah. See, I haven't been doing this for a week. I don't know how to... I'm fumbling up on everything. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Hopefully you don't have to work too much harder, Sunny. Hopefully you'll be off pretty soon. But other than that, yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday and we'll go from there. I really do need to figure out an ending. Okay. Thanks, Sunny. Bye, everybody. See you next time.